Now we have to talk about those lovely taxes. I'm going to show you how to set taxes up in the software. When you set up your website, you need to get all of the rules on how to tax people when they come to your site. You want to make sure you have your sales tax done correctly because the government has the right to audit you, and if you haven't charged sales tax correctly, they could assess you the amount of tax that they determine you should have paid. Make sure you have your tax rules set up correctly and that you are taxing people the correct amount. Now, a lot of times when you sell outside your state or your country, you don't have to charge tax. Or if you have to charge tax, it's a zero-rated tax. For instance, I'm in Canada, we have to charge HST. When I make a sale on my website, if it's to someone who's outside of Canada, that sale is zero rated. However, if someone from Canada buys from me, I have to charge them tax. Now, that is a different type of website because it's a service, but you really have to research selling digital and physical products and whether you need charge sales tax or not. So let's go in and I will show you how to set up the sales tax. It's your responsibility to make sure you're charging the sales tax correctly. The WooCommerce settings, tax. The first screen is your tax options. So obviously if you're going to charge tax, you need to enable the tax calculations, whether you're going to enter your prices with or without tax, how you're going to calculate sales tax, the shipping tax class, how you're going to round it, and additional tax classes, whether you're going to display your prices in the shop excluding tax, and the same with the cart, and how you're going to display your tax totals. You're going to hit the save changes. And now let's go to standard rates. Now I've set up some rates for the US. The same methodology applies for any country. Click insert row, put in a 2-digit country code, put in your state, and then if this is state tax, you would put in your state tax amount. And this is priority 1. Let the system know if you're calculating tax on shipping, insert row, and then Florida, and whether you're going to have a tax based on the zip or postal code or on a city, Ocala, and how much it is. Let's say it's 1%. I'm just making up these tax rates, by the way. And in order for it to work correctly and to be a compound tax, you have to have your state with a priority 1, and then your city would be priority 2. If you had a third tax, for instance, in New York City, you have New York state tax, New York City tax, New York transit tax. Oh, I can't remember the rest of them, but there's lots. And there's lots of different layers of taxes, and you would just keep adding priority 3, priority 4, priority 5. And once you finished, you hit save changes, and then of course you go and you would test. So let me buy this cute German Shepherd. Oh, I already did. That's my dog. And then I'm going to go to checkout, and I'm going to ship to a different address. All right, so I'm covering up a lot of things for privacy, but if you look, I chose Austin, Texas, and my tax is $1.40, and that is correct. Based on my settings for Austin, 11.2%. You can also import your tax rates using a CSV file, and they give you all the rules. When you upload a file, you have to make sure there's no blanks in your file. In other words, you don't want to have a blank row here. The system knows already that the top row is the label, so you can leave that. Uploading is quick if you have all of your data correct. If it's not correct, it takes a long time to upload because you have to find your error. But how you would do it is you would put in your state code, any zip codes, your city code, your percentage, your tax name, whether it's priority 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if it's a compound, if it's tax, etc. And once you have your whole file done, you save it, and then you would upload it to WooCommerce. You would choose your file and upload and import, and it would automatically populate all of your taxes for you. Importing and exporting using a CSV file, if you're not used to it, it can be intimidating. So the taxes are very easy to set up. You really need to investigate what is taxable, what's not taxable, based on where you live, who you're selling to. I'm going to show you how to install a pop-up on your website so that you can capture people's names and email addresses and bring them into your autoresponder. That way you have an email list of people to market to. And I'm sure you've heard of the saying, the money's in the list. Well, it is, because once you have someone's email address, you can send them out newsletters, which keeps your site on their minds. I think we're all familiar with getting emails, and that's what you want to do with your site. You want to entice people to come back to your site on a regular basis. And the only way they'll do that is if you are on their minds. And one way of keeping you on their minds is to send them an email. I've included some tips on email marketing in the course. The first step is collecting the email addresses. There are lots of different pop-ups that are available on the market, but I'm going to show you how to use Pop-Up Alley, and you can experiment with different plugins. I just think that this is a very nice plugin. It's very professional looking, and that's why I chose it for this course. If you go to Google, type in Pop-Up Alley, A-L-L-Y, so Pop-Up A-L-L-Y, you will see it's on the first one on the list. You want to download that version to your computer. Then you want to go to the background of your website, go to plugins, add a new plugin, upload plugin, choose your file, install now, activate the plugin, and now we're ready to use our plugin. If you go down to Pop-Up Alley, go to Display Settings. Now there are different ways that you can use the plugin. One is time delayed, one is on exit, and one is an embedded sign up. The time delayed is a pop-up when someone comes to your site. After a predetermined amount of time, the pop-up is displayed. On an exit intent pop-up, as soon as someone goes to hit the X button to go out of your site, the pop-up pops up. And then the embedded sign-up is actually embedded right in your website. So let's look at the time delayed pop-up. Show after. Now 0 seconds is immediately on load. I would personally give people a few seconds to look at your site and see that they like what's on your site, and then show them the pop-up. Or do it on exit. But these are things that you should test. And you can also play with the settings once you've set them up. So let's go through and do the time delayed pop-up. We want to show it on all pages. We could put it on all pages except for specific pages. Show pop-up every X amount of days. Now I'm going to leave it at -1 for testing. But once you finish testing, then you can change it to 14 days or 30 days. And then you can show it on the thank you page. I will show you how to set that up in a few minutes, but let's go and do our pop-up. Hit Save Changes, and now let's go to Style Settings. Now the very first thing is your sign-up form HTML, and for that you need to log into your autoresponder account. Choose the list that you want your subscribers to go to. Click Sign Up Forms, create a new sign-up form. You can leave it as the default name and email address. Hit Save Your Form. Go to Step 2. You can give your form a name. You have to tell the system where you want people to go once they sign up. If you leave it as the basic version, they're going to be taken to Aweber's thank you page. So what you want to do in this case is you want to take them back to your website. So once they sign up, they'll be taken right back to your website. And the same if they're already subscribed. Now save your form and go to Step 3. Click I will install my own form, and you want to get the raw HTML code. This looks pretty scary, but it's really not. Once you get that code, you paste it into your pop-up. Leave the name field and the email field as is. You can change the way it's displayed. On the right hand side, we can see the defaults, and now we want to customize it. Enter your name and email, and you'll get free weekly newsletters, or get weekly newsletters. It's free. I would leave that. Then you want to add your logo. You want to add your logo image and an introduction text. And then you can leave this as the default, and you can leave this as well, or you can put in your best email, and you see how the text on this side is changing. And then let's get rid of that color, nice red. And then you can leave this privacy text and hit Save Changes. And of course, we're going to test it. And there's our pop-up. Now, once the pop-up shows up, you can change anything you'd like and then subscribe to your own list and make sure you are added to your list. So my pop-up is working correctly. Let's add a thank you page. Go to Pages, add New, give it a name, thank you, and then you can put in whatever on your thank you page. You just want to thank people for signing up to your newsletter and a little bit about you and what you're going to send to people. Because remember, everybody gets tons of emails, so you need to give them a good reason to open your email by explaining that you're going to give them great tips on photography. If it's an image site and you're going to let them know that you have new stock images or something really exciting happening. So once you've done that, hit Publish, and let's go back to Pop-Up Alley, Style Settings, Display Settings, and let's say we want a thank you page set up. And there's the thank you page. Now we want to copy this script and put it on our thank you page and hit Update. Now we want to copy our thank you page URL. Let's go back to Aweber, and you can either create a new form or you can edit your old form. Let's create a new form. So click Create a New Sign Up Form. It has the name and email address in there. Save your form. Go to Step 2. Give your form a name, and instead of thank you, we're going to go to Custom Page. At this time, we're going to send everybody to your thank you page. And the same if, now, you see how it was red and Aweber didn't like it, so I actually loaded the page and just copied the URL from the page, pasted it again, and they recognized it. If it's red, it's because they don't think the page is live. Once you're finished that, you have no more errors. Click Save Form. Click Save Form, go to Step 3. I will install my own form. Get the raw HTML, copy your HTML. You have to copy the entire form, so make sure it's all highlighted. Now let's go back to Pop-Up Alley, Style Settings, and now let's change the form code, because remember we added the thank you page, and that thank you page is in your HTML code. So we want to paste that and save the changes, and then you reload your page and you test again to make sure you're getting the subscriber. If you test a couple of times, Aweber makes you enter in a CAPTCHA code. It's okay, they used to actually stop you. There was one time I was testing, this is when I was really new, and you probably know by now, I believe in testing. Well, I tested so much, they blocked my IP address, and I had to phone them up and explain I was testing, and they unblocked my IP address. But now they give you a CAPTCHA code. And once you hit submit, now people are taken to your thank you page. The one thing I forgot to tell you to do is go over to text and put your script in under your text. If it's displayed on your page, there's an error in the setup. And you can put another pop-up on your site as well. It's the same type of setup. And there's the pop-up at the bottom of your page. Now obviously you can play with it and change the text, and I would definitely change the color. So now pop-up number 2, we're going to have it display at the bottom of our page. Show after, we're going to have it load. We're going to show it at the bottom of the page. We're going to show it for all pages except for the thank you page. And hit Save Changes. Now, for testing, you may want to set up a new sign-up form so you can tell who is signing up for your pop-up that comes up on your site, or the one that's displayed at the bottom of your site, or wherever you decide to have it displayed. Let's go to Style Settings. And again, we're dealing with pop-up number 2. And you would use the same method you did for pop-up number 1. Select your text color. Select the text that you want in your headline. Choose your image. Change the text to explain to people why they should sign up to your newsletter. The text that's going to be displayed for the name and address. You can change the font, the type. You can change the text on the subscribe button. You can change the color on the subscribe button. The text color as well. This looks better in white, but I could change it to black. And I like the white better. You can change the privacy text and hit Save Changes. Go ahead and load your site. And there's your sign up form. The best thing to do is test, test, test. And I'm being serious. I'm laughing because I just believe in testing, testing, testing. But if you don't test and you have people going to your site and you lose your signups, it won't do your business any good. So this is how you use the pop-up and any other pop-up plugin that you want to try. It's the same basic process. And that's it for now.